Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 7th. It is 6:23 right now. We have market opening up in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update, and we should be good to go. And this link out for you guys to join in. But we are good to go here. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. To the 8 hour. Going down to the 4 hour. Down to the 1 hour. 30 minute. 15 minute. 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute here. And it looks like we are good to go. So good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 7th. It is 6:27 right now. We have market opening up in about 3 minutes. Marked up liquidity over here. ATR is currently at 13, so it's a bit slow, but it will probably pick up in the next couple of minutes as soon as market opens up. These are the two first levels. These are probably going to get knocked out before market opens up, is because they're so close. So the next level is going to be up here and down here. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Sam. Morning, Lila. Morning, Christian. Morning, Nick. Morning, Steven. Morning, Maria. Morning, everybody. All right, so it looks like we're good to go. Breakout for today is looking like it's possibly going to be a buy. Looking over here at the 4 hour, it's still bullish, been bullish since yesterday. 1 hour is neutral, 30-minute is neutral, 10-minute is bearish, 5 minutes bearish, and the 1 minute here is bearish. So the lower time frames are bearish and the higher time frames are bullish neutral. So we'll see what happens today. Today is Fed Day, so we'll see what happens later on as they release the interest rate news. I don't think the interest rate is going to change. As you can see here, it's forecasted to be neutral, so not really much of a change. Other than that, there's not really much else news for today. There's gas stock change at 7:30, which happens every Wednesday, but it's not really high impact. So put that down right there. And I think that's about it. So we got market opening up in about 50 seconds, guys. Breakout for today is going to be a buy if anybody is looking to take that. We'll follow it and we'll see what happens here. I'm ready to go. So morning, Tarek. Morning, Tarek. Morning, Ben. Morning, everybody. Let's see what is going to happen here on open. Let's see what happens here. We got market opening up shortly. This liquidity here just got tapped. MPS V2 for a buy has not came up yet. If this candle closes green, this is going to be the MPS V2. It's right at the sessions though, so not exactly the type of entry I'd be looking for. It's considered, obviously red flag right there specifically. I go and mark this up as opening price. So this opening candle right here, 39 points. All right, so we're not really getting too much volatility here on open, which is pretty surprising. ATR is still pretty low. So we'll see what happens here shortly, guys.
Connection lost.
Connection lost on APEC or on NinjaTrader. Let's see which access got disconnected. Back up. Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. Connection lost on every account. NinjaTrader issue. All right, so there goes a breakout, guys. Breakout full TP. Anybody took it? Yeah, I think spiked up like pretty heavy right there. Yeah. So Steven was like, everybody take the breakout. I'm not taking it today. And it hit. It seems like every time Steven doesn't take the breakout, it hits. I think every day this week that the breakout came up, it went straight to its full TP. So that's crazy. Yeah, Steven. Seems like the breakout's just not for you. Yeah, it's Lodge said look good on higher time frames, so he took it. Thanks, bro. Yeah, nice work. Yeah, on the 4 hour was still bullish. So breakout right there, full TP for 50 points if anybody caught that trade there. Put that in the chat real quick. There goes the breakout right there. Now let's see if there's any other opportunities here for entry. That was a huge spike. So it spiked up right there. Looks like it grabbed liquidity and came all the way back down. There's nothing to take here though, so pretty much just waiting. Waiting for something here to appear or to, I mean, really just play through if possible. Might look around and see what confluences we have here. Obviously, next opportunity is going to be for a sell if we do get that sell opportunity. So let's see, looking over here at the market profile. Looks like we got some rejections off the top end. So if you do get a sell here, possibly look good. Looking here on the 30-minute time frame, also have some rejections over here off the top from the market profile. So sells could be good here. 1 hour time frame, we have rejections on both ends, top and bottom. Volume profile, we have rejections off the bottom end, so buys could work if they do come up. Clean chart here, we have a rejection off the top end on the most recent candle, so sells could be possibility here if they do come up. Here's the SR chart. We do have a top rejection right there. So we're getting some pretty heavy volatility right now. Might be best to wait for this kind of smoothing out a little bit. Rejections off the top end. All right, so let's take a look at CNBC real quick. What is causing this huge spike right now? So it says stocks tick higher as traders look to upcoming US-China talks, Fed decision looms, 5 updates. Yeah, so as you guys can see right here, it says, I mean, basically a lot of people are just waiting for the Fed news later today at 11 o'clock. And then also the tariff news as well. Yeah, not too much here going on. Just trying to see what's causing those big, huge spikes right now. I think there was earnings this morning, but all the US stuff here. So there's a White House briefing later today. Trump at swearing in ceremony. What time frame is this on? It happened later on though. All right, so we got price kind of just bouncing back and forth right here. We got some huge spikes, some big candles right here with the big wicks. So there's not really too much here to work with. I don't really see anything here that's causing the price to spike around like that. I'm trying to figure out if there's any news here that's really, or breaking news that's causing those spikes, but there's not really much here that's happening at the moment. Yeah, CNBC hasn't really posted anything. Unless there's earnings this week that I didn't really pay attention to. So it says right here, the Fed meets with uncertainty permeating the air. So like basically Yeah, market pricing, the futures market are implying almost no chance of interest rate cut. Exactly, that's what I just mentioned earlier. And only about a 1 in 3 probability of a cut in the June session. Powell said is going to say everything is on the table. He always says it, but this time he's going to mean it. Yeah. So this is just previews of like what's going to happen later with the Fed news. Not really too much to really worry about because there's not going to be any changes for this month, most likely. Um, but the volatility is kind of crazy right now. It's a little heavy. Anyway, just confluences on both sides. So what we're really looking for here is a sell signal first. Once we get that sell signal, we can start looking for opportunities for either a reversal to the downside or a retracement and continuation to the upside. So it's just a matter of time until we get that. Otherwise, there's not really much else here for us to take at the moment. And not really. All right, so we're pretty much just waiting for that sell signal, guys. Once we get the sell signal there, we'll start looking for opportunity for either reversal, or if we get a sell signal and a buy signal, then we'll be looking for possible opportunity for price to retrace, then continue to the upside. We got price pushing back up. Again, we've got some pretty heavy candles right here more recently. We haven't really had this much volatility all week or even last week. Looks like it might try to establish a range here. So what we might get here is you might get a range. We'll see. I mean, it's looking like it. Yeah, so pretty much a range like yesterday, guys. Not really too much here to work with. Work with what we got, but looks like same situation. We got some high volatility here, but it's just it pushed into a range basically like it did yesterday. All right. So let's see if price gets past this area. If not, probably gonna come back down. So we're either gonna look for price to break above this area and climb up higher from here, or we're gonna look for it to bounce off here and come back down into the range. We'll see. I mean, either way, we're looking for a sell signal here to really do anything. Not necessarily take a sell, but not really take a sell, but for either retracement or some sort of catalyst. Nothing going on. This thing's super flat. All right, so price is kind of just sitting right there now, guys. As you wait. All right, it's finally breaking above. Really breaking above now. It's breaking above, but we never got that retracement, so um, looks like we're gonna have to wait a bit. All right, still looking for that sell signal, guys. Once we get that sell signal, we can look for retracement, and then once we get that retracement, we can look for continuation, or we can look for reversal. So right now we got price above here. What we need a sell signal. So we need price to push above. It's pretty much doing what I mentioned earlier. I said there's two different scenarios that may play out. It's either going to break above, retest, and continue up higher, or it's going to bounce off this area and come back down into the range. Obviously, the first is happening. Price is breaking above. We now need to get a sell signal for it to retrace back and then continuation back up higher, which we do not have yet. What are you sitting down here now? Right. Nice. Yeah, Tarek said Bitcoin is back to almost back to 100. That's close, bro. 97. It was even closer like on Friday. It was up to like 98. It's been pretty bullish looking at Bitcoin here. Curious where mine is sitting down and open up my Coinbase. Other news here from CNBC. All right, so we got price kind of pull back a little bit. It's not fully retraced, but we're looking for that sell signal, guys. So again, we're looking for the sell signal here. Once we have that sell signal, we can look for opportunity to the upside. Let's see if there's any of those confluences that I was mentioning before in the past. So yeah, the confluences are still looking good. So like over here, I'm looking at the pre-market moves. So like, for example, right here, there was a higher low with engulfing. And it ended up pushing up pretty nice. At least 30 points or so. Then same with this one over here. There was a V1 with a high point and it pushed down about, yeah, 30 points as well. Nice. Okay, so I'll keep looking for stuff like that. I mean, obviously there's nothing here right now. Hey, what's up, Brock? Morning. The volatility here is starting to slow down though. So let me go and I'm gonna put my ATR back to 14. Okay. So the ATR right now is currently at 26. It's pretty much slowed down. We have this crazy candles right here on open, and then it pretty much, never mind, I take that back. As soon as I said that, a big crazy candle came up right here for a sell. It's a tricky market today, guys. So the fake out happened right here. Looks like price failed to break and retest, faked out, came right back down. We're kind of getting these random spike candles that come out of nowhere. It's really unusual today because we have the spikes, like these big spikes happen, then it kind of goes a little crazy, then it slows down, and then these random big candles just come out of nowhere. There's no news happening right now, so there's nothing really, there's no catalyst really pushing price around. It's it's kind of just bouncing all over the place. Yeah, Tarek said mixed signals. Brock said we are with the spiking today, it seems. Yeah, it's spiking around a lot. I mean, these candles are huge. If you measure this candle here, this is a 60 to 70 point candle. This one over here is a 73 point candle. Yeah, Nick mentioned market loves to retest the open. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's created this huge range here. Basically, whenever price pulls out of the range, it's a fake out, right? Price kind of pushes above, fakes out, comes back down. So it's really easy to get faked out here. Like I mentioned earlier, that break and retest never really played out because it pulled back, but it didn't actually retest. And then same with this one over here, price kind of just came down and I mean, it's back into this range. So nothing to take here right now, guys. We're looking for that sell signal still to close, but even if the sell signal closes, with all this crazy choppiness, it's I mean, obviously it's gonna be pretty tricky. So just gonna wait a little bit. Let this here kind of there we go. So we have the sell signal right there, and price is pushing back up. You can see price is it's pretty much moving within the range that I drew. Well, we got much going on here. Yeah, Brock said 9 minutes to a sense of where we are headed on the 1 hour, 1 minute is now getting jumpy, perhaps too jumpy. Yeah, no, it's definitely pretty jumpy right now. I mean, it's respecting the range that I drew. So I drew this range earlier when market opened up. So market opened up right here, created an upper range, then it created a lower range. So I drew this range down here and up here. Price is respecting it though. It came down pretty nice from this fake out, bounced directly off that point. If we get a buy signal here, we can have a possible opportunity for MPSV2. Or if price comes back down lower, there may be possible opportunity for MPSV2 for a sell. The only problem is we have the red flag here, which is the sessions and opening price. Bubble up there. Let's see, Valentine said on ES, we almost touched the 56.50 level, and there was a bunch of orders there. Seems like it affected everything as well as divergence on the order flow I use as a confluence. Yeah. see. All right, so we have a pending buy signal right here on this candle. If this buy signal closes, we may have an opportunity for an MPS V2 for a buy. Otherwise, there's no entries here right now. I know some people have mentioned the news of the war happening between India and Pakistan. Yeah, I mean, that's happening right now. It's not, US isn't really taking too much involvement in that, I don't believe, unless like other countries get involved. But yeah, that's happening right now. I don't think it's affecting the market at all. Yeah, not quite. I did some research on that war though. That stuff's been going on for a long time. Like India and Pakistan have not been getting along for like pretty long while. Um, and now they're actually like bombing each other or trying to, which is crazy. Yeah, Nick said those two fight pretty often. Yeah, I know. I never really looked into it, but like yeah, I just did a quick little search on it and I read up on it and I was like, oh, they've been fighting for a long time. It's been pretty yeah, they've been fighting for a long time, but not to the point where they have like these huge bombing and stuff. I think India tried to strike them with some airstrikes and they've just been going back and forth about it. Yeah, Barack said no news till 7:30. Yeah, it's just crude oil, so it's probably not going to affect it very much. Let's see. Yeah, Shivam said, yeah, it isn't even affecting the India stock market. Most likely will affect Pakistan, who is a struggling economy-wise more. Biggest issue is both of them hate each other big time and have nukes. Yeah, I know exactly. Think we need younger gen leaders. Yeah, no, I agree with you too. When the hate runs deep and it's a lot of older people who've been running the country, it's not gonna go anywhere until like new leaders start to run the country and they kind of don't care about it as much. Yeah, CERN is because of the Kashmir area. Both claim it's theirs. Yeah, it's like a lot of countries in the Middle East, right? It's kind of similar. Like, there's a lot of land that like people think is theirs, but nobody really knows. We have an MPS V2 setting up right here, guys. We have a buy signal. We'll see if price pushes up any higher. Let's take a look at the confluences. So we do have some buy confluences here on the 1 minute. We have a rejection right here off the value low. If price pushes up, retraces and pushes back up, we'll have a break and retest right here off the point of control as well. We do have confluence over here on the 30-minute rejection off the bottom end. There's also rejection on the top end right here as well. 1 hour, we do have rejection off the value low right here. Volume profile, we have rejection right there. Clean chart, we don't have any rejections here on the bottom end, but we do have an older rejection from down here. Support resistance, we do have rejection right here off the support level. So we may have, we'll see what happens here. Price might just grab liquidity and come back down. So this will be a little tricky. Yeah, Sam said Apple moved all of its manufacturing to India from China, so it may affect the US if it escalates both nuclear. So world will not let it happen. Yeah, Sarah said mentioned that it's just a trailer, not a proper war. Hasn't started yet. Yeah, I mean they've been going at it for a while, so we'll see. I mean, obviously we'll be aware of it because if the market does get affected by it, we're gonna feel it, we're gonna notice it. All right, we have a possible MPS V2 here setting up for a buy, guys. We have a buy signal, retracement, possible continuation to the upside. Yeah, I mean, there's confluences here. They're not super strong confluences, but we do have confluences on both ends, so they're not necessarily just one-sided. So it's going to be a little tricky. I mean, it kind of depends on how these candles here end up closing. I'll be watching it here to see, to see the setup. So no red candle there yet. Looking for that retracement, but hasn't happened yet. I want to see some strong candles here. If the volatility here starts to die out, maybe not look for entry here. But if I want to see these candles be moving. I don't want them to be flat because I don't want to be stuck in a position that goes sideways for like a good, amount of time right there. So we got price pushing up. See if it grabs the liquidity right there. All right, so it's pushing up to grab that level of liquidity. Not quite there yet. You have a retracement happening right here. All right, so we have an MPS V2 possibly setting up right here, guys. Retested this gap right here too, this 5-minute gap. It's in this big range though. All right, I'm gonna watch the candles to see the price action here. Price action's not looking super good right now. So it came back and retested this range right here, it looks like. If this candle turns green, I don't think this is one that I would take. It's I mean, this wick's gonna be pretty huge. Yeah, I don't like this candle too much, but it did retest that range right there. Retest the liquidity. I'm gonna see how this candle here. I'm gonna watch the candle to see the price action. All right, so if this candle closes above this area, I'll probably take it for the buy right there. And keep watching it to see. I mean, there's confluences on both ends. I'm not going to take it if it's a small candle like this, if it's weak. The ATR is currently at 29, so you might have to go for like a 30-30 if you decide to take this trade here. Again, I don't like the price action here. Yeah, it's probably not even going to close green. No. Probably not going to take this one, guys. The price action here is kind of, yeah, it's not even looking like it's going to close green. It's switching back and forth the last second. And it did not close green there, just like I anticipated. So price action there is not good. Candle didn't look good. And we are in the we are looking for, I mean, this thing might push up, but yeah, like Tarek mentioned, if it he'll ensure if we get a nice green candle for 30-30. Yeah, I'm still looking for the buy there. It's just it looks like it's creating a new range here. So this might establish a new range within this point. Steven said if it doesn't close green, then we take the opposite. No, we don't, Steven. You're creating your own strategy at this point. Did your trade play out yesterday, Steven? Your gold trade? I didn't even check, man, but you're crazy, bro. I don't know why you're trading both ways. Like you're trading sells and you're trading buys at the same exact time, which I'm like, that's crazy. I mean, I don't know what your reasoning was to take both trades. I think you just said that you felt like it was going to be a buy. When you sent me your screenshot, I was like, what is this guy doing? All right, so we still have the possible opportunity here for MPS V2, guys. Again, if this candle closes as a strong green candle, this will probably continue to push up. Yeah. Steven said, you said not to take sells, so I took buys, but even the buys made a loss. Yeah, because I didn't tell you to take buy either. I said don't trade at this time, and you took both buys and sells at the same time. It's all good, Steven. You'll learn one day. But yeah, I told you that it was a bad time to take because I mean your whole analysis on that entry was like completely horrible. Like their ATR, I said it stayed around the 100 ATR, and the ATR was at like 130. So you were definitely on the wrong time frame to be trading on gold. Plus, you said you entered a sell, and I was like, the trend is bullish, and there was like no sells there, and you still took the sell, and then you ended up taking the buy. So, I mean, you'll figure it out, Steven. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go back and review that trade from yesterday and just study it, because that was like a horrible trade just in general, so you could understand when not like what not to do. All right, so looking at this right here, guys, the MPSV2, it came up right here, but I didn't take it. Like I said, I was looking for it to close above like this area right here as a stronger green candle, but it didn't actually close that way. So not one that I would personally be looking to take. I mean, it's running right now. So this is the MPSV2 currently running for a buy. The candle right here closed and opened at that point. So, I mean, if anybody's looking to take it, there's not really much movement here. You know, like I said in the past, like when the ATR dies down a little bit, it's a little tricky because you don't want to be stuck in this position for like 10 minutes and then it ends up reversing on you. Kind of like what happened yesterday. But this is the MPSV2 currently running in profit. Adam's in the position. Nice work, Adam. We'll see if this here plays through. Hopefully it does. There is confluences here for a buy. So we do have rejection off the point of control on the 1 minute. We do have rejection off the point of control on the 30-minute, 1 hour. It actually looks like a pretty good entry. See, Tarek said, would it still be valid trade if we get another green candle that closes above? I'm thinking we'll still enter if it closes above our zone. Possibly if it's you know, if we get an engulfing or something like that, or a V1, that could be an A++ setup. I'll be looking for that too, actually. So I'll look for the engulfing or A++ setup. The thing is, I just didn't want to be trapped in this position for too long because the sideways move here. Like I don't want to be, this is what happened yesterday, right? We were stuck in this position for a while. So this is kind of what I like seeing, where it kind of sits in the negative for a little bit. Because usually when it does, that's what we saw yesterday, right? We were kind of sitting in profit in the opposite direction for a little bit, and then it ended up shooting down. But right here, we're sitting in the bottom. So this here might kind of sit around this area and then break out to the upside. So I'll follow it. There's a sell signal here, so there's not going to be an A++ setup that's going to follow through. Just gonna wait here. Brock's in the position too. So Brock's in the position and Adam's in the position right now. So I'm hoping this hits for you guys right there. Steven's in it too. Steven decided to hop into it. All right, let's see what happens here. Yeah, Sam said agree. Price is barely moving. So it's on its way up. So there may be another MPSV2 that might come up after this one. We do have the buy signal that's currently pending on this current candle. If we get another buy signal that comes up here, you know, whether it be valid or invalid, we can have possible opportunity for it to, you know, maybe swing up, retrace, continue up higher. Just the ATR is kind of low. It's at 25. Yeah, so if you look at this closely, it looks like this is the new range. So price is currently within the new range. The upper range is going to be up here, of course, where the wicks are at, or where the liquidity is. You can kind of see this range here starting to establish. That's why I just said candles keep jumping. Brock said this thing kind of becomes slow when we enter. I know. It was like it did yesterday, right? Yesterday we entered that position and then just slowed down. I mean, it's not really doing much. Let's go over here to the clean chart real quick. So you can see it here a little better. There's not really too much going on here. It's just kind of bouncing off that whole number. So what I'm looking for and what I'm anticipating is hopefully a breakout to the upside. It's like a huge green candle and just shoot up to the upside like that. This thing's really not moving. We're down to 23 ATR. It was closer to 30 earlier. It was like 30, 28. Now it's down to 23. So we're probably going to get a sideways move. If you go over here and you mark up 23 points, this is basically the average of each candle. So that's probably how much it's going to move per candle for the next, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so. So ideally, we'd like to see a buy signal come up. If a buy signal comes up, that can set up for another MPSV2 or even A++ setup to the upside. Yeah, there's just not too much going on here. Yeah, Shabam said I want a clear break above 41,170 for buys or for sells 41,165. Yeah, it's pretty far down here for the sells. And then for the buys up here, 41,170, which is closer, a lot closer actually. Yeah, I mean that looks like a good area to look for it to break above the 170 right there. See, this is what I didn't want to get trapped in. I don't want to get trapped in a position that ends up running for like 10 minutes or so. But again, like I said earlier, this here is kind of going back and forth around this area down here. So usually if it sits below in the red for a bit, it's gonna like spike to the upside. It's like what happened with us yesterday, but the opposite direction. We just need that breakout to the upside. We got a V1 coming up right here. Another pending buy signal right there. It's kind of just sitting. Let's get that breakout to the upside, guys. The confluences here are still valid. So we do have some rejections here off the point of control. We've got this nice rejection right here off the point of control on the 30-minute, rejection right here off the 1 hour point of control. There's rejections on both ends over here on the volume profile, rejection from the top end, rejection from the bottom end. Again, it's just sitting right here at this whole number at the 41,150. So you can see the bounces right here. Distance chart. Fortunately, hit stop loss, guys. Unfortunately. It's all good. So, that trade was a bit tricky, like we mentioned. This is kind of what I was expecting it to do because so here's a problem with this trade here, guys. It's basically it did exactly what happened yesterday when I took my loss, right? And I saw that because we saw the liquidity up here, and that's like what happened with this yesterday. We got really close to hitting our TP with our trade at the end of late yesterday's session, and then it ended up reversing at this point. There just isn't enough volatility here to kind of push price around. This is like the worst case scenario where price goes sideways because you don't have any control over like what's going to happen next. For me personally, I would rather price come up and then hit my stop loss right away than for it to kind of sit around this area and bounce. Because at this point, it's like really, it's up for any direction. It can really climb down and then pull back into this lower range. Thing that happened yesterday. If you guys remember, we were trading within a range here. Price broke out of the range like it did right here, and I took a buy here for yesterday's loss. So here's yesterday's loss that I took. It's the same exact setup, right? So like if you look over here, we were in this range. Price broke above. I took my buy because I thought price was going to push past the range, and then it ended up pulling back into the range. And that's exactly what happened here. Price broke out of it, and then it pulled back into the range below. So all good. That is, I mean, it's just the type of market that we're in right now. Yeah, Christian said, I hate this kind of market. Yeah, me too. It's very similar to a summer market, right? We don't really have much direction. We have more of a range here. Yeah, as long as you said decent entry, every edge includes a loss. Yeah, 100%. The trade was good though, guys. So like, I mean, the setup was there. There was confluences for a buy. It was just one of those trades that end up turning the other way because we're in a market now that's low volatility. This is kind of what I was expecting for Wednesday because the Fed news hasn't came out yet. I think once the Fed news comes out later today, tomorrow and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday should be a little more volatile. It's just a lot of people are sitting on their hands. So what happens is price pulls back into this range. So we have this range that established on open, fake out, and then back into the range. And there was actually an NPS V2 here for a sell. I didn't even bother looking at it, but this was an NPS V2 for a sell right here. This entry is actually a good one. I just didn't want to fade you guys' trade. So like, that's why I wasn't looking for any sells here. But since you guys were in the buy, I didn't want to look for anything to go opposite of you. But the sell here was good. I think there was confluences here for a sell. Yeah, there was a confluence right there. Rejection off the point of control the opposite way. Nothing on the 30 here. Nothing on the hour. I mean, it's pushing away from the point of control. There's rejections here off the volume profile. And there was, I mean, there wasn't a lot of confluences, but there were confluences. Confirmation right here. Confirmation right here. Yeah, so the NPS V2 for a sell right there actually hit for 30 points, unless you went for lower because the ATR is currently 21. So maybe you would have gone for 25 instead of 30, but either way, the 30 would have hit. Yeah, Barack said, on my side, it seems like a buyer's setup. I don't trust these sells. Yeah, exactly. Ideally, I would have looked for buys there too because well, I mean, it's kind of tricky because the lower time frames are bearish and the higher time frames, well, just the 4 hour is bullish. But the lower time frames here, I mean, it's pretty choppy. If you look here on the 1 minute, it's choppy, 5 minutes choppy, 10 minutes choppy, 30 minutes. Everything's choppy really except for the 4 hour. The 4 hour over here is pretty bullish and it's been climbing up. So everything else has been, a bit of a chop. So I haven't taken any entries today yet, guys. I'm being very cautious, especially after yesterday's loss. I'm kind of making sure that the setups here are really good before I take anything. Let's see, Barack said, do you think oil news might be a catalyst to push past liquidity? I don't think so. Wednesday gas stock change is usually not very strong. Unless it's like OPEC. If it's like OPEC month and there's a lot of gas stuff going on, then maybe, but it's not OPEC month, I don't believe, or OPEC week. So it's just regular gas stock change for Wednesday. Yeah, like what Sam said too, agree price is barely moving, prefer to risk at a better trade. I was thinking the same thing because, for example, for the entry that came up right here, I would have wanted it to close above here or like past liquidity. And I think that's what a lot of other people are looking for as well. So here we are as price pushes back up. Another buy signal. Again, I'm looking at the price action, guys. I'm looking at how these candles are moving. I want there to be some volatility behind it. I don't want it to be a flat candle. Because if it's a flat candle, it's going to go sideways like it did right here. So we have another buy signal here starting to pen. Again, the confluences here are starting to line up again if price does push back up. Push away from the point of control if it pushes up. See, the problem here is that these confluences are going to be a little tricky because we're in a ranging market. So what happens is you end up getting confluences on both sides. You get confluences for a sell and you get confluences for a buy. Green chart here, rejection off the whole number, 41 to 100. Surprisingly, this thing closed with a buy signal. Pending here now. So I think this might push up that confluence that I mentioned before, guys. So we have a low right here. We have a lower low, and it's also an engulfing candle. So this here might break and retest and then push up higher from this point. We'll see. Still don't have that buy signal. If we had the buy signal, it'd be better. Yeah, looking at this here, guys, we're in a huge range. We're definitely in a huge range right here. Let me mark up the upper range right here. We got the upper range right here, and we have the main range down here. This is the main range from the open. This is pretty much the high and the low point. Basically, 2-minute orb. We got a buy signal here that's pending, but again, like I said earlier, guys, look at the volatility. It's very slow. I don't want to enter when the market's moving slow like that. I want to enter when it's moving quickly. The ATR again right here is at 21. Let's see what happens. All right, so we get that buy signal right there. Price is pulling back a little lower. Yeah, this market sucks. It just reminds me of a summer market. This is how summer is going to be, guys. If you guys do decide to trade during the summer, it's going to be like this a lot of like majority of the days. This is why it's important that you trade every day in the summer because there's going to be one day that's going to be pretty nice and volatile and smooth. But a lot of days are going to be like this, where it's just a lot of sideways move, a lot of low volatility. This is just how the market is during the summer. We're not in summer yet, but it's starting to look like summer here for sure. All right, so we have a possible MPSV2 setting up right here. We have a buy signal. If this candle closes above this black line, possible opportunity for MPSV2. The ATR is really, really low right now, though. It's at 20. So, I mean, my initial entry would be with the 40-40, but then I would have to adjust to, and I will probably not even get an entry because we have a sell signal right here pending. Back down. Yeah, Barack said we need something to boost momentum. So, there's probably going to be movement in the market. It's probably not going to be from gas stock change, though. I think there's other stuff happening behind the scenes that's really causing the market to move like this because we're getting a lot of flat. So I think right here, this is going to be the key thing right here. It's going to be so it says Trump officials Bassett and Greer to meet with Chinese counterparts on trade economic issues. So this is going to be happening today. I think this is really what's going to move price because this is going to be based off the tariff stuff. So like one thing that you want to be careful for is there's going to be some breaking tariff news that'll probably happen over the next couple of days. So basically whatever happens from that meeting, it's going to be breaking news on CNBC and all the other news sources, and that's going to cause spikes in price. So there's no longer an MPSV2 for a buy here. You guys can see it. This is just, it's a ranging market. So we get this huge red candle, then we get a huge green candle. Actually, a really huge green candle. Let me measure it real quick. This is about a 50-point candle. is really, it's hard to decipher where price wants to go. Because there's no, even if you look at all the mixed time frames here, everything is pretty mixed, right? I mean, bullish looks better though. So if you look here, if you look closely, so looking at the 10-minute here, we have a nice rejection off the pivots. It looks like price wants to push to the upside. If you look here on the 5-minute, same thing, right? Nice rejection off the pivots, push to the upside. Right here on the 1-minute, we could possibly see a break and retest. So a push up, retrace, continue up higher. The 30-minute over here, again, nice rejection off the pivots. 1-hour time frame over here, nice rejection off the pivots. And the 4-hour time frame, nice rejection off the pivots, right? So if you look here, I mean, if you look on a bigger scale and you look at all the different time frames, the buys here actually look pretty good. If we do end up getting some sort of buy entry that may appear, but it's looking like it's going to take some time before that actually happens, because every time we get a setup here, it just ends up doing the opposite. So I was looking for the buy setup here, then we got a sell signal, so that was opposite, and now price is pushing up. The thing with this type of market, guys, is that this really tests your patience and discipline, right? Because it's really easy to hop into a position if you think price is shifting another way. But if your setup doesn't come up, which obviously it's not coming up here, I'm not ready to take anything here yet until we have some sort of confirmation. Let's take a look at the confluences again, 1-minute time frame for market profile. We have rejections off the top end, right? Or not really. I mean, there's rejections on both sides. There's rejections off the point of control from the bottom, and there's price pushing away from the top end. Looking over here on the 30-minute, we do have rejection right here off the bottom end for the point of control. Same with the 1-hour. Volume profile, it's just messy. If you look over here at all the confluences, normally we have like everything that lines up. It's like, okay, bottom rejection, bottom rejection, bottom rejection, etc. Right? For this, if you look at this closely, there's rejections on both sides. So we're getting rejections on the top side, we're getting rejections on the bottom side. So this becomes a toss-up because now the confluences aren't as clear as they would typically be. Because we usually don't have it moving like this, right? Like if you look at this closely, price is really just ranging between these two whole numbers, right? So if you were to just focus on this line right here and this line right here, this is really the range that price is moving. Everything out here is a fake out, right? Fake out, fake out, fake out. Everything below here is a fake out. So this is where it becomes tough because like you want to trade out of this area, but if you trade out of this area, you don't want to be caught in the fake out back down below. Kind of similar to what's been happening up here, right? So, I mean, we'll keep looking, but like I mentioned, it's just, this is really where it's going to test your patience, because I know this is going to, people are going to get FOMO, you're going to get, you're going to want to hop into something here, but it's better to kind of sit out and wait a little bit, especially after taking, taking a trade and eating a loss at some point. It's really, you just want to be cautious about the next move. So we'll see. Yeah, Maria said interest rate market. That's why I think the market here is pretty flat, because, until the interest rate news comes out later today with Powell. I think just in general, people are waiting for Powell to speak, because Powell's going to speak later today about the interest rate stuff. I mean, you saw from CNBC, right? So everybody's waiting for Powell to speak at 11 o'clock today. Powell's going to be good for the market, but he's going to be realistic. He's not going to say the market's going to be shooting up or it's going to be shooting down. He's going to say everything is on the table like he normally does. He says that every time he speaks. But this time, he's going to mean it. Because normally Powell will say things like that. He'll just say like, oh, everything's on the table. Price can go up or price can go down. Right now, it really can happen because once they cut the interest rates, market's going to go up. Or if there's some progress with the tariff news, then price may go up as well. It just kind of depends on like what agenda they're looking to push. Let's see. Yeah, Sam said he's waiting a lot higher, 41,215 zone for sells. Only in his chart, there's a gap too. Waiting for break of 41,175 for a small buy, but not sure his TP stop loss market's so spiky. Yeah, Sam said the sell move ate all of the stops, else of buyers. Now the real move upwards. Yeah, I agree. It's eating stops on both sides. It's basically stop hunts on both sides. So we have a possible NPSV2 setting up right here. We have a buy signal, retracement, possible continuation up to the upside. The problem here is that we do have the news candle. So this is going to be the news candle right here. It's low impact, so it's not really going to affect very much. This is the one that you were talking about, Brock. This is the gas stock change. So like I said earlier, I don't think it's going to do anything, right? And it's not really doing much here. Unless it's like a gas, like there's some sort of gas or energy meeting like OPEC, then I would expect it to maybe move, but yeah, not really much of a movement here at all. If this closes above, this is an MPSV2. The only problem is that this candle is moving really slow. So the last thing you want to do is get caught in a movement like happened over here, right? I kind of stay flat. Brock said he's going to get in for the MPSV2 as long as it closes above this red candle right here. It's looking like it might not even close above this black one here. Yeah, so it didn't even close above it. The volatility here is just really low. So I'll be looking for that too, Brock. If this here closes like a strong green candle, I'll be looking to possibly take this here for a buy for MPSV2. I think that'd be ideal. Have to watch for it though. So I want the price action here to be pretty strong. Like I want this to be a strong green candle. Like I can't have this like slow moving candle right here. This needs to push up. All right, we're at the last 10 seconds, guys. I'm not going to take this one, guys. It's too slow. It might even close below it. Okay, so there's an entry right here. This is an MPSV2. I don't know if you decided to take a Brock, but the price action here again is just way too slow. The ATR is currently below 9. It's below 20 now. It's at 19. Let's take this off. I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. Yeah. So like I said, I don't like the price action, guys. If the price action showed me that there's going to be volatility or there's going to be a continued push after that, then I would take it. But I think the market here is just going to range. It's basically sitting within this upper range right here. Just sitting within this area. Yeah, so Brock didn't add to it. It's all good. I do think the longer term push is going to be to the upside though. Again, like I mentioned over here, there's a lot of confluences for a buy here across the board. And I'm hoping the market picks up after this. It should pick up after today though. So let me check the news for tomorrow. Obviously, we have Fed interest rate news right here at 11 o'clock today. Press conference with Powell, 11:30. So on Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, 4-week average, continuing jobless claims. We have labor costs and non-farm productivity, quarter for quarter. And then Friday, we have pretty much all the Fed speakers. So Friday's probably going to be kind of crazy because we have a lot of Fed speakers speaking. We have pretty much every Fed speaker speaking. It's Fed week, so all day on Friday, we have all the Fed speaking. Basically, during live session, we have Fed Goolsby speaking, Fed Kugler, Fed Williams, and Fed Waller. So I think the direction in volatility should pick up tomorrow and Friday. I think today it's just a lot of people are waiting for that Fed news to come out at 11. So people are just sitting out of the market. All right, so it looks like we're going back into this main range down below. I mean, I'll keep looking for entries here. It's still kind of early. It's 7:34. So we got about 30 minutes left till 8. Really nothing going on. We got a pending sell signal here. See if this here pulls into the lower range again. Here, I'm just going to adjust this range. I know we have this bigger range here, but I'm just going to adjust this down a little lower. Yeah, this looks more like it. All right, so looking at this right here, we currently have a sell signal. We have a possible MPSV2 for a sell, but it's not looking like we're going to get that either. It looks like price is going to range back up. Sam said, okay, guys, calling it a day. Range, getting a headache. Yeah, I know, I agree. There's nothing going on today, guys. So, this is probably a good day to not take any. Well, I mean, if you don't have to take anything, don't. There's a promo going on for Apex, guys. So just a heads up, I'll post it in the Discord. Yeah, there's nothing going on. So there was no sell entry there. The thing that I'm looking at here now is that these candles are starting to get a little blocky, meaning like they kind of gap around a little bit. Like for example, there's a sell signal here. This candle ended up over here, and then this one ended up down here, and then this one ended up right there. So the candles aren't closing like smoothly. So you can see over here that there's it's low volatility, but the candles are also blocky. Like for example, here this red candle closed right here, but yeah, it's called Great Days of May. Put this over here in the chat as well. All right. So I just put it over here in the chat, guys. So basically it's a May sale. It's 80% off for Apex accounts. It ends on May 20th at midnight. 80% off all evals and 1 day to pass and $50 resets across the board. So just a heads up if anybody's looking to get more Apex accounts, or if you're looking to reset. The reset's discounted right now to $50, so it's half off. This doesn't mean to go YOLO on your accounts though, guys. Okay, just remember that. These promos are good if you take advantage of them the proper way. This doesn't give you an excuse to YOLO your accounts. I know a lot of people are like, when these promos come out, they're just ready to buy a bunch of accounts and then kind of just go like pretty much do this crazy trades that they wouldn't normally take to pass right away. But I wouldn't recommend it, guys, because you don't want to blow accounts and then have to reset them and then redo them again. It's better to just do it proper the first time around or the second time around, and pass them with proper discipline and proper strategy. Because the thing is, what happens with a lot of people is they'll pass right away, and then once they get funded, they can't keep the funded account because they don't have a plan to follow. So just something to keep in mind, guys. All right, so we have a possible NPSV2 right here setting up for a buy. We have a buy signal right here. We have possibly a retracement candle right here. Yeah, exactly. Rev said 1 day to pass is a trick. That's really what it is, because what happens is when they tell people you can pass in 1 day, it makes people want to take these crazy trades to like pass in 1 day, but a lot of times most of those people just fail in 1 day. All right, so we have a possible MPSV2 setting up right here. I don't like how this candle came up. If you guys saw this candle opened up green and it came down like immediately thereafter. The ATR is really, really low right now, guys. It's at 17 right now. This is basically summer conditions right now. So this could be a possible setup for a buy. Let me check the confluences. There's confluence on the 1 minute, confluence on the 30, 1 hour. But again, I don't like the price action on this. This one looks like it could possibly be good though. Here, let's see if I can get into it.
Or
All right, so let's see if I get into this one. This one actually looked pretty decent. I like how this candle here closed at the last second, so I ended up entering right there. The only problem with this here is that the volatility is super, super low. So
order filled.
let me see, I'm gonna mark up the 20 here. I'm gonna mark up a couple different numbers. So I'm gonna mark up the 15. Just so that I have an idea where the 15 is at. I'll mark up the 20. So I have an idea for that too. Brock's actually going in for 25, 25. So I'm just gonna mark up a couple different levels here so I can kind of see where I want to gauge my target at. Like I think 30-30 would be a little too far out. Yeah, because the volatility here is not that high. So this would be the 15, this would be the 20, this would be the 25. I like the engulfing right here too. So the 15 would be right there. I'm gonna watch it. I might even just trail it a little bit. I mean, the 40 is for sure gonna be too far out. So I'm probably gonna move this at least to the 30 right here, which is 178. And then I could probably make some adjustments along the way. I mean, I'm looking at the ATR right now. It's currently at 17, so we'll see. If this ends up going sideways for a bit, I'll probably move my TP down a little lower, but I'm looking for this to push up from this point. The confluence just look good. So there's a confluence right here with a rejection off the point of control. Rejection off the point of control on the 30, rejection off the point of control on the 1 hour. Rejection right here off the volume profile. Clean chart right here. So ideally what I'd like to see is I'd like to see the rejection right there off the whole number. That'd be key. Rejection right here off the support. So there's confluences across the board on this for a buy. There's this point resistance rejecting off the support, rejection off the possible whole number right here, the 41,150. Volume profile, 1 hour market profile, 30-minute market profile, 1 minute. And yeah, I mean, the only thing here that's kind of throwing me off is really going to be the ATR because the volume here is so low. So, and I don't like how these candles are blocky. See how like the candles are kind of blocky? Like this thing closed up here, but it ended up reopening down here. Super blocky. Yeah, exactly. Broxy, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's super blocky with these candle movements here. Shivam said he's just going to go for the 15. It also happened with the entry candle right here too, like Brock mentioned. So the entry candle was the candle closed and then it ended up opening like down here. I'm gonna move my stop here to the 30 as well and move back up to the 18. Hoping it doesn't pull back to this lower range down here. Let's see. So if I move this up a little higher, I mean, technically the range from earlier was like right here. So it's technically at the lower range right now. This is before I moved it from this point. I think, right? Yeah, looks like it. So maybe a retest of that area right there. This was the previous lower range. Yeah, this thing is not really moving too much. ATR is currently at 17. All right, it's bouncing off that lower range right there. Kind of just sitting right here at this lower range point. Let's see. You got price kind of lowering down right here. It's getting closer to my stop. I'm still in it, but it is see if it pushes back up from this point right here. So ideally, I would like to push back above to the point of control, break and retest, and then push up higher from there. If that's the case, I might just move my TP closer to like 15 points because the volatility here is just not where it should be. I got stopped out. Oh, All right, bloody week for me this week. Two losses, unfortunately. So I had a loss
Stop them.
right here. I moved my TP and my stop loss up to 30 points. So I'm still basically the same loss as yesterday. I went in for the 40. I'm using basically my contract size. I'm not risking as much because I'm going for 30 points instead of 40. But yeah, two losses for me this week, unfortunately. We are stuck in this ranging market. So again, I'll move this back down below. I mean, it's pretty much what we just talked about earlier, guys. We're stuck in this ranging market. It sucks because we're not really pushing out of it. And then we just end up going back and forth between this area. Like I thought this would have been okay to push up to this point. This is the same thing that we got caught in yesterday. We got close to our TP right here, that 15, and then it just ended up turning the other way. But it's all good. Two losses for me this week. I'm keeping my risk pretty manageable because I'm still set to my 40-40 TP stop loss, but I'm adjusting my TP stop loss to the 30 mark. So I'm not really losing as much as I normally would, since I'm cutting out a little earlier than I would if I was going for the full 40. So like I said earlier this week, guys, I'm changing my TP stop loss based on the week. And this week I'm still stuck on that 40-40. So since I'm taking the 30s today and yesterday, I'm still like I saved about like 20 points on both of the losses. So basically this would be like a 1.5 loss for me versus like a full loss if I was to take the full 40 TP stop loss. All right, it's all good, guys. On to the next one. So unfortunately, this here was a loss, taking a beating this week. So it looks exactly like the loss from yesterday. I'm looking at it right now. So the loss from yesterday did the same exact thing. It pushed up in profit, and then it came all the way down back into the range. Same with what happened here. Price pushed up a little bit, almost to the TP or the base of the 15 points, and then it turned all the way back down to that lower range. It's the ranging market conditions. Let's see. Yeah, next city still keeps his stop loss TP at +5, the ATR. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about moving mine to 25, which would be a little tighter, but I just left it at 30 just to give it some of that cushion. But see, so this thing right here is the ATR is currently at 18, it's below 20, and then you get these like kind of random candles that come out of nowhere, and they're like a little bigger. But yeah, this low ATR, I don't really like when it happens like this. I'd rather have it hit my stop loss right away. So you can see for a lot of these positions, they've been running for, so this one over here ran for about 5 minutes or so, which is okay. But typically, these hit immediately after the first or second candle. Yeah, next I did have one at 30-30. Really expecting nothing less than tough return to trade. I know, right? Um, so this here is still considered a fair loss for me. Like this trade here did have the confluences. It had the confluences for a buy. It's just we're stuck in a ranging market. So I'm assuming something here happened to cause this bigger drop. Because this kind of directional move came out of nowhere, right? We were in a range and then all of a sudden price turned the opposite way. Let me check CNBC real quick. Yeah, it's starting to dump really heavy now. I honestly, I think we just got unlucky, guys, with this entry here because the setup was good. The confluences were good. And this here just ended up dumping super heavily. Let me check the news real quick. It's starting to drop really, really hard. I don't really see anything here that's causing price to dump like that, but yeah, this is a pretty big drop, like a continuous drop. Like it wasn't a breakout. Like we didn't see like one big candle that just came up and then spiked price down. This thing was just Straight drop down. No green candles in between. I don't see any big orders over here either on the time and sales. Same. Yeah, no, I don't. Five, 736. No. So the last time I saw a big order come in was at 736, 737. And they weren't big orders, they were like 20 or 30 contracts. That's a pretty big drop right there. So all the liquidity right there is getting knocked out. So I'm trying to figure out like what's causing the drop here, but I mean, it looks like price came down, knocked out all this liquidity. Unfortunately, it looks like our position here. So if market kept ranging within the range here, I think we would have been perfectly fine because the range here is pretty much continuing. It's just we really got caught in the initiation of like this big dump right here. Because right here it started to come down a little bit and it started to come down really hard right here at this area. Glenn said maybe it's time to bring back a 1030 TP stop loss. I know, right? So Glenn mentioned maybe it's time to bring back the 1030 because if we did 1030 here, this would have hit. Right. I know a lot of people don't like doing the 1030. I personally don't like doing the 1030 either, but yeah, like what Glenn mentioned, the 1030 would have hit right there. I know a lot of people hate that, but it still hits. That's the edge. It works well in these choppy type markets because you get in and out very quickly. I'm probably not going to go back to it, at least not yet, Glenn. Yeah, Christian said let's hope for a best next 2 days. Yeah, hopefully 2 days the Thursday and Friday will be a lot smoother. It's gonna be after FOMC. So hopefully the market will be moving a lot smoother. We'll be able to lock in a couple more wins and then hopefully bring this back up by the end of the week. It's just a lot of choppiness here and a lot of ranging movements. The confluence is like, so what I'm looking at here is that like it looks like the technical analysis it's not really being like a big impact on your trades here. Because if you look at it closely, I mean, your technical analysis here, you can get really chopped up on either side, on the buy side or the sell side. It's just these random kind of price movements that start to move out that kind of pushes price around and it pushes in a direction that you can't really predict, unless you get lucky on the right side of the market. But yeah, I don't see anything here with any news that's really pushing price around. Yeah, there's nothing really here. I mean, aside from yeah, because the negotiations with China don't begin until Saturday. So we're not really expecting much here. Let's see. So U.S. Treasury Secretary Bassett said it's time for China to graduate from developing country status. So it looks like the U.S. are going to be working with China to get them out of the status of developing country. Mexico's president says I'm not planning on visiting the U.S. at any time. I don't think any of this stuff really affect the market. super heavily. These are all the news events that just came out right now. So the only thing here that I can see is Treasury Secretary Bassett is making a lot of comments, but not exactly anything here to screw up the or to cause the market to really move like how it's moving right now. All right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, unfortunately, today was a loss. So I'm gonna have to eat that loss and then move on to tomorrow. I'm just eating my one loss for the day. I'm not doing horribly in the market. I mean, I'm doing okay. We have 2 losses for this week, but overall it's still pretty decent because my risk is still set to a 40-40 TP stop loss. And since I'm getting out at 30, I'm actually losing less than what I normally lose per trade. So instead of having 2 losses, like 2 full losses, I'm actually at like 1.5 loss or 1 3/4 of a loss. Which is fine. I just got to make it back tomorrow. Hopefully the volatility is higher. I can go for the full 40 points and then that will recoup most of the loss, if not majority of it, before I can like bring myself back to profit, hopefully by Friday. But yeah, forex it'll be nicer tomorrow, guys. You just checked. Yeah, we'll see. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. Unfortunately, we took a loss for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, it's just a choppy week, guys. We have a ranging week this entire week, and it kind of similar to how it was last week. So we're kind of just trying to maneuver through this market. Just remember to don't adjust your contract size if you've been taking trades this week, because if you adjust it, you're either going to, for example, if we win tomorrow, you're not going to make back that profit. So like you kind of have to like gauge your risk based on like what you've been taking this week. So don't change your TP stop losses. Don't adjust your contract size, because if you go higher, then you could lose more. Or if you go lower, you're not going to make as much to cover your losses from today or yesterday. So just keep that in mind, guys. You have to keep everything pretty much linear per week. And then if you want to adjust it to next week, that's fine. That you can make your adjustments to smaller contract size, smaller TP stop loss, or bigger. But for now, I would say just stick to what you guys currently have. I haven't adjusted my contract size. I haven't adjusted my TP stop loss. So I'm still like my calculations for my risk are calculated at 10 contracts and 40 TP stop loss. But since I'm taking 30, I'm losing less. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow.